When night falls and everything seems to sink into silence, that's when sounds that seem harmless start to echo, possibly from somewhere inside your house or from outside your window. But don't be quick to ignore them. Some noises at night are not just the sounds of aging or imagination. They are subtle warning signs of danger lurking around you and your loved ones. In today's video, you'll discover 5 scary sounds that need to be suited during the night, sounds that, if you've ever heard them, you should never ignore. Watch until the end of the video to learn how to identify, interpret, and respond correctly to each sound, because your safety might depend on it. If you're concerned about survival, health, and your family, make sure to hit subscribe and follow the channel so you won't miss important content like this. Although darkness brings peace, sometimes it is in those very moments that unusual sounds arise as an urgent warning that you must never ignore. It could be the sound of a device emitting a distress signal, or worse, a sign that something is quietly threatening your safety. In the first part of this video, we will decode the first sound, a noise that may seem familiar but is actually a sign of a potential danger. Listen carefully, as your ability to recognize and respond at the right moment could make the difference between safety and disaster. Don't take your eyes off this because it could save your life. In the stillness of the late night, a strange sound echoes, not loud, but enough to make you uneasy. It could be the faint clink of metal, a soft knock on the door, or an unusual electronic sound from an appliance. Whether you live in a bustling city or a secluded place, each of these sounds could be an early warning of danger, and if not responded to in time, the consequences could be irreversible. In the first part of this video, I will share an extremely common sound that is often overlooked, while in reality, it is an important warning that many have missed. Pay close attention, because your vigilance could save your entire family. You're lying still in bed, the lights are off, and the world around you seems to sink into silence. But then, drip, drip, a dripping sound echoes somewhere in the darkness. You might think it's just a faucet that wasn't turned off properly. But don't be too quick to ignore it. A dripping sound at night isn't just an annoyance, sometimes it's a serious warning sign. A pipe about to burst, a gas leak, or even water leaking from the electrical system, all of which pose a fire hazard or cause significant damage. In this part, I will help you identify the true meaning behind that seemingly harmless drip and how to respond in time to protect your home. That soft dripping sound, like a whisper, is actually the silent scream of your home, a signal sent by nature to warn of trouble approaching. Many people ignore it, thinking it's just a minor nuisance. But the frightening truth is, the sound of water dripping at night can be the first sign of a hidden leak, a silently bursting pipe, or even water slowly seeping into the electrical system. Just one night of neglect could result in your entire home drowning in disaster, from mold to electrical fires. So, if you hear that sound, don't pull the blanket over your head, get up and check. A quick response could save both your property and your life. Water is a silent but ruthless enemy. A single drip can be the beginning of a tragedy if you don't pay attention in time. It seeps into every crack, rots the walls, damages wooden floors, and worse, when it comes into contact with the electrical system, it can lead to explosions and fires. But what's even more dangerous is, not all water sounds are the same. The steady drip from the sink is completely different from the echoing leak from behind the wall or the faint flow of water beneath the floor. Each type of sound carries its own unique warning. In the next part, you will learn how to distinguish them, so you won't be caught off guard when it's too late. Each water sound tells a story, and some of them are urgent warnings that you must not ignore. A slow drip could simply be a loose faucet, but it could also be the first sign of corrosion or a crack in an underground pipe. When the sound turns into a rushing flow of water, it could mean a pipe inside the wall has burst, and if you hear the powerful spray of water under pressure, it's a red alert. Water is flooding out, and every second that passes is money lost, electrical risk, structural damage, and even danger to life. Acting quickly could save your home from an unexpected flood. Consider this a wake-up call. Every unusual water sound at night deserves investigation. When an unusual sound occurs, the first thing you need to do, not panic, is to immediately locate the main water shutoff valve of your home. This is the only control point that can stop the flow of water before it becomes a costly nightmare. Many people don't know where the main valve is until it's too late. But just one simple action, turning the valve, can save your electrical system, flooring, and valuable property. In the next part, I will show you how to quickly locate and operate the emergency water valve, even in the dark. Don't wait until you hear water, be prepared right now. Every precious moment when dealing with a water leak can make a big difference. You need to know that the location of the main water shutoff valve is the key to protecting your home. Typically, this valve is located in places that are often overlooked, such as the basement, storage spaces, or near the water heater. Especially in apartments, you will also find separate shutoff valves under sinks or behind toilets. These are essential tools to help you manage the situation when a small leak occurs. Identifying and understanding the location of these valves today can help you stop a disaster before it even starts. Let's explore how to approach this situation in the most effective and safest way. Take action today. Don't let hesitation push you into an emergency situation. Save the phone number of an emergency plumber in your phone. Not when the water has started to leak, but right now. A timely call can help you avoid severe damage. Additionally, don't forget to install water leak detectors near important appliances or in the bathroom. These small devices aren't expensive, but they can alert you to issues before everything gets out of control. A small investment for the safety and protection of your valuable property. Protect your home before it's too late. Hi, if you hear water, remember that sound could be a sign of a potential danger that shouldn't be ignored. And don't forget about the musty smell. If you notice it after a water leak, that's when mold begins to grow, a silent enemy that can severely harm your health. In just 24 to 48 hours, mold can start to spread, causing respiratory issues, allergies, and many other health problems. So, the next time you hear water, act immediately. Don't let the silence fool you, as that quietness could be the sign of a health disaster lurking right next to you. Stop and listen. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night to strange sounds, like light scratching on the walls or a thudding noise from the attic, you know that feeling is anything but pleasant. These sounds not only cause confusion but could also be signs of potential dangers within your home. Could it be rodents invading your sanctuary, or is something more serious happening right under your nose? The important thing is not to ignore them. If you don't check right away, the consequences could be significant damage to your home and belongings. Let's take a closer look at these sounds and how to deal with them as soon as they occur. The sound of animals in the house can make you feel uneasy, but they are not just noises that interrupt your sleep. They could be important warnings, signs of dangers that you cannot ignore. I still clearly remember the time Sarah called me in tears, telling me how she had been hearing faint scratching sounds from within the bedroom wall for weeks, but she kept convincing herself that it was just the branches brushing against the window. Only when the sound became clearer and more persistent did she decide to check and discover that a colony of rats had invaded her home. Be cautious of sounds that could be signs of animal intrusions. When Sarah finally decided to investigate, she discovered that a huge family of raccoons had stealthily entered her home, causing significant damage to the electrical system. These creatures not only caused destruction but also brought with them a dangerous fire hazard that Sarah had never anticipated. Indeed, noises at night are not always harmless. Distinguishing between natural outdoor sounds and signs of animal intrusion is extremely important. If you ignore these strange sounds, you may face unforeseeable dangers. Act promptly to protect your home and belongings from unexpected threats. The sounds of household appliances may not immediately attract attention, but don't let negligence lead to serious consequences. One small sound that can change your life is the groaning or grumbling noise coming from your refrigerator. Sometimes, this sound is simply a sign that the compressor is starting to fail, but you can't ignore it. If you don't act in time, you'll face a non-functioning refrigerator, and all the food inside will spoil. The cost to replace it could reach hundreds of dollars, not to mention the fact that you won't have fresh food anymore. And if it's something you've had in the fridge all week, you may face a truly miserable situation. But that's not all. Some sounds from appliances can warn you of life-threatening issues. A popping or clicking sound from your fireplace might seem harmless at first, but if you then hear a whistling sound or smell gas, it could be a sign of dangerous gas buildup. If you don't check immediately, the risk of an explosion could happen at any moment, and the consequences could be catastrophic. The popping sound from an electrical outlet or circuit breaker panel is one of the most common signs of electrical issues, which causes over 50,000 house fires each year. Electrical problems may not give immediate obvious signs, but these unusual noises cannot be ignored. Especially when you hear strange buzzing or popping sounds coming from outlets or electrical appliances in your home, you need to check them immediately. Small electrical issues, if left unchecked, can lead to fires, putting your life and your family at risk. One of the most easily overlooked yet extremely important sounds is the faint beeping from smoke detectors or carbon monoxide alarms. These devices are designed to save your life, but many people ignore the sound until it stops. That's when the battery has run out. At that point, you won't have any protection if smoke or toxic gas issues arise. I know of a family who ignored this sound for a long time. They heard a soft whistle every time their gas stove turned on but didn't think it was a serious problem. It wasn't until their neighbor, a retired gas company worker, came over and noticed it was a gas leak that things became very dangerous. A gas leak can lead to large explosions and fires, causing severe damage to homes and property, and even threatening lives. None of us want to face these emergencies, but listening to the sounds from appliances and understanding what they mean could save your life and the lives of your loved ones. Always remember, never ignore these small noises. They could be signs of more serious problems, and if you act quickly, you can prevent significant damage or even save lives. So, the next time you hear an unusual noise, whether from an appliance or an abnormal mechanical sound, don't ignore it. Check immediately and see if it's a sign of a potential issue. Sometimes, listening and acting in time can help you protect your home, your valuable possessions, and most importantly, your life. The sound of strange footsteps outside the bedroom window at midnight, the gentle rubbing of a doorknob, or even the faint noise of the window mesh being pulled in the darkness, these sounds are not just simple disturbances in your sleep. They could be signs that precede a real danger. When living alone, you must always stay alert to such unusual sounds, as they may be signs of an intruder trying to break into your home. The scariest thing is not the loud noises, but the quiet, cunning silence of an intruder. They rarely make the noisy sounds you see in action movies. Intruders are not in a rush. They know how to move carefully and skillfully so as not to draw attention. They don't make noise, so every small sound, like a creaking door or the rubbing of a window mesh, can be a signal to you that someone is trying to enter your house. And when you hear these sounds in the middle of the night, when everything around you is completely silent, they can cause extreme confusion and anxiety. But what's important is to stay calm and act quickly. When you encounter such sounds, never just lie there hoping it will go away. Your sense of security is the most important, so the first thing you should do is ensure you can safely exit the house. Check windows, doors, and other potential points of entry to make sure there's no sign of an intruder inside. If possible, leave the room and find a safe place, or lock the doors and remain silent while calling the authorities. It's crucial that you don't confront an intruder on your own. While there may be a feeling of wanting to protect your property, when facing such a threat, your safety must always be the top priority. Call the police and inform them of the situation as soon as possible. Quick and decisive actions in the first few moments can be the difference between safety and danger. Additionally, having preventive measures in place to stop an intrusion before it happens is extremely important. Doors and windows should always be securely locked, and if possible, install an alarm system to alert you of any intrusions. A security camera system can also help you monitor vulnerable areas and provide detailed information to the police if a dangerous situation arises. The sounds that appear at night are not just random noises. Sometimes, they are warnings of an imminent danger. Being able to identify and respond correctly not only helps you stay safe but also protects your home from illegal intruders. Remember, in situations like this, quick and smart actions could save your life. As night falls and the house sinks into silence, even the smallest sounds can be signs of impending danger. Have you ever heard the soft press of a doorknob, gentle turning motions in rhythm, seemingly repeated multiple times at entry points? These are not normal sounds that you can simply ignore. They are warning signs of an intruder trying to enter your home, cautious and full of intent. Sounds like a screen being quietly removed or light pressure on a window to check if it is locked. All of these could be subtle signs, but they are things you need to pay close attention to. People often don't realize that these sounds are completely different from the usual household noises. The footsteps of an intruder are not hasty, they are quiet, cautious steps. They have a hesitant rhythm, seemingly always waiting for a response. This is completely different from the normal footsteps of someone living in the house. If you've ever heard this sound in the middle of the night, don't be quick to assume it's just random noise. It could be a sign that someone is silently watching you or trying to approach your house without leaving any trace. However, it's not only the sounds of intruders that can be dangerous. Sounds of family arguments, yelling, pounding on walls, or breaking glass should not be ignored. These could be signs of an ongoing internal conflict, or worse, someone being threatened. While intervening in this situation may feel awkward, if you hear such sounds from neighboring apartments or houses, don't hesitate to call the authorities. A simple emergency call could save a life, and sometimes, your actions may be the deciding factor. Sounds related to vehicles can also be a warning sign. Have you ever noticed a car slowly driving by your house multiple times, especially with the headlights off? Or a car that stops with no one getting out, running idle for a long period? This could be a sign of a worrying situation, possibly someone surveilling your house or preparing to do something dangerous. Never ignore these signs, as they may signal a threat lurking just outside. With these warning sounds, it's crucial to carefully plan your response. Never try to confront an intruder directly, especially if you're unsure of the situation. Instead, move to a safe room, lock the door, and immediately call emergency services. Clearly describe what you're hearing, your location, and the current situation. If you suspect someone is trying to break into your house, don't hesitate to report it to the police right away. Acting quickly and accurately will help ensure your safety and the safety of those around you. In addition to being alert to warning sounds, you can also enhance your home's safety by installing security devices. Motion sensor lights around the house are an effective measure to deter intruders, as the sudden light could startle them and make them flee. Door and window sensors that trigger an alarm when activated are also a solution to help alert you in a timely manner. You should never feel embarrassed to call for help, even if you're not entirely sure about the danger. Sometimes, making an emergency call can be a life-saving decision, so don't hesitate if you feel something isn't right. As night gradually falls, your home becomes quiet, and in that silence, small sounds often echo. These noises, though seemingly harmless, can be significant signs that you should not ignore. Law enforcement is always ready to respond immediately to an alarm, even when they know it could just be a false alarm. This demonstrates a fundamental principle. Sometimes, being vigilant early is more important than doing nothing and letting things escalate to a catastrophic level. The sound of an intruder entering at night is one of the most alarming signals that you cannot overlook. These sounds are not just signs of a potential threat, but also critical signals that require immediate action. We often tend to assume that strange noises in the house are just the creaking of old furniture or normal changes caused by the weather. But if you've ever heard a loud crack during a storm or a series of sudden pops when the temperature drops, don't simply roll over and tell yourself it's because the house is contracting. This assumption, while comforting in the moment, could lead to serious consequences in the future. Our house actually communicates with us through these sounds. Especially in the silence of the night, when all other sounds are quiet, these strange noises become more pronounced and noticeable than ever before. Try to recall the last time you heard a creaking or cracking sound in the house late at night. Did you ignore it thinking it was just a part of the natural deterioration of the house? But you might not have realized that a sudden loud crack could be a sign of a load-bearing beam breaking after being damaged by termites. That rhythmic popping sound could come from a shifted ceiling beam due to excessive weight. And if these sounds are ignored, you may face a much larger incident, potentially endangering both your life and property. Distinguishing between normal household sounds and danger warning sounds requires attention and sensitivity. Normal sounds are often short and irregular, just brief clicking noises or the sound of wind whistling through a crack in the door. But sounds related to the structure of the house usually have a distinct pattern. They increase in frequency or volume over time. The creak of an old door or the wind howling around the house might signal gaps in the structure, but more unusual sounds, such as cracking followed by a shifting or settling sound, could be a sign of a damaged structure at risk of collapsing. Again, do not ignore these sounds, as they may be warning signs of an impending incident. When a load-bearing beam fails, sudden movement could be the first sign of an impending collapse. I once ignored the constant creaking noises from my ceiling, thinking it was just a part of the house's natural aging. But it wasn't until my contractor friend came over and immediately recognized that it was a sign of a damaged beam that I realized the importance of paying attention to these sounds early on. So, trust your instincts when you hear strange sounds at night. Don't wait until it's too late to realize what's going on. Your house is talking to you through every small sound, and sometimes, those noises can save your life and property if you act promptly. If it weren't for my contractor friends spotting the issue, part of my ceiling could have collapsed while my family was peacefully sleeping underneath. That could have turned into a disaster, but fortunately, I realized it in time before it was too late. This situation once again reminded me that strange sounds in the house, especially during storms or sudden temperature changes, should never be ignored. In particular, the continuous creaking or cracking from any area in the house, if they become louder and clearer, should not be dismissed. That is a warning from your house that part of the structure might be facing serious issues. When you hear these sounds, the first thing to do is move to a safer place in the house, away from the potentially dangerous area, and immediately call a professional to inspect it. For older homes or after severe weather events, scheduling regular structural inspections is extremely important. The naked eye might not catch all potential issues, but professionals will spot warning signs that you can't recognize, signs that have been revealed through those alarming sounds. Inspectors can help you uncover hazardous elements that, if left unchecked, could lead to irreversible damage. These sounds might not pose an immediate threat, but they could be the early warning of a disaster for both your home and your family. Concerns about the structural integrity of your house may not be as captivating as the sounds of an intrusion or wild animals, but they hide unforeseen dangers, even potentially being the greatest threat. I wonder how many times you've heard strange noises without paying attention to them? You've been lucky not to encounter any serious incidents so far, but who knows, perhaps you've ignored a warning from your house? Tonight, as you lie in bed, try to listen with a new awareness of what your house is trying to tell you. When we've discussed the 5 frightening sounds you should never ignore at night, from water where it shouldn't be, warnings about wildlife, machinery malfunctions, human intrusion, to structural concerns, you might feel confused and anxious. But it's precisely through this knowledge and awareness that you can protect your family's safety. In fact, no matter which sound appears, the most important thing is to take action. Knowledge without action is just theory. So tonight, before you get into bed, take 5 minutes to check the important things in the house. Locate the main water shutoff, the circuit breaker, and check the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. These simple actions could save your life in an emergency. Trust your instincts whenever you hear an unusual sound, because sometimes those uneasy feelings are the signals that your subconscious has detected before your mind can process them. That feeling isn't paranoia. It's a built-in warning system in your brain telling you to pay attention. Every family should have a clear emergency plan, with specific steps to take in case of danger. These simple conversations could be the key to keeping you and your loved ones safe in times of crisis. The best prepared homes are not only those with solid structures, but also those equipped with essential safety devices to help you handle sudden dangerous situations. You may not have thought about it, but small details like flashlights in every bedroom, a multi-tool that can help you shut off utilities in an emergency, or a phone that is always fully charged, can make all the difference between panic and a controlled response when a dangerous sound rings out in the middle of the night. When warning sounds begin to echo, the first moment is crucial. If you are already prepared with these tools, you will be able to act quickly and correctly, protecting not just yourself but also your family and loved ones around you. Imagine a quiet night as you're deep in sleep and suddenly a strange sound rings out from somewhere in the house. You can't immediately pinpoint where it's coming from, but an unsettling feeling starts to spread. If you are unprepared, this feeling could lead to panic, but if you have the necessary safety equipment, You will be able to assess the situation and act immediately without wasting any time. The flashlight will light your way, the multi-tool will help you quickly turn off the water or electricity in the house, and the fully charged phone will be the vital means of communication to call for help if needed. All of these things not only help you stay calm but could also save your life and the lives of your family. The knowledge you gain from this video not only helps protect you but also helps protect your loved ones in your family and circle of friends. These warning sounds, whether it's water leaking where it shouldn't be, strange noises in the night, or any other danger signs, could signal an emergency situation. A moment can determine the outcome, so quick and accurate action is extremely important. Don't hesitate when you hear these sounds. Instead, take immediate action to protect your safety and that of your family. With these simple yet incredibly important safety devices, you can create the difference between panic and calmness in an emergency situation. To keep yourself and your loved ones safe, share this information with the people you care about. These preparation steps could be the key to protecting your family when danger strikes. Never underestimate the importance of thorough preparation, because those first moments can determine everything. So, don't let your safety and the safety of your family be overlooked. Learn and apply this knowledge today, and don't forget to click on the next video to continue your journey of building a safe, well-protected home. The additional information in that video will further enhance your ability to prevent and respond to emergencies. Your safety and the safety of your family are priceless, and knowledge is the key to ensuring that you are always ready to handle any danger.